Models for B. Semantic accounts for the root or epistemic distinction. Coates, 1983. Indeterminacy, Fusey said. Gradients between semantic core and periphery. Ambiguity, Palmer, 1986. Example A. You must be choking. Example B. You must leave. Example C. Why must you go around asking indiscreet questions? Semantic accounts. Kratzer, 1977, 1981, 1991. Papa Frago, 2000. Common core meaning for each model. Models equal logical operators. Necessity models like universal quantifiers, possibility models like existential quantifiers. A. Arthur must be ill, or Arthur might be ill. Ill in all possible worlds, must. Ill in at least one possible world. Model relation, conversational background, set of assumption in view of, sets of possible words. Proposition P bears a certain logical relation ρ to the set of propositions in a domain D that includes info accessible to the hearer. The operator, like the model, relates the proposition to a proposition in domain. In view of the political situation, you must leave the country. You must. The operator model relates the proposition to a proposition in domain. In view of the political situation, you must leave the country. A. You must be talking. B. You must leave. C. Why must you go around asking indiscreet questions? So we have different meanings. Ambiguous sentences. Range of assumptions is captured by more than one domain. Pragmatically, equally accessible, equivalent cognitive effects. Ambiguous sentences. Range of assumptions is captured by more than one domain. Pragmatically, equally accessible, equivalent cognitive effects. The operator model relates the proposition to a proposition in domain. You must understand. Arthur must be ill equals, in view of the symptoms I notice, it is necessary that Arthur is ill. Proposition true. If true, in all accessible worlds that come closest to the normal. Arthur may be ill equals, in view of the symptoms I notice, it is possible that Arthur is ill. Proposition true if its negation is not a necessity. His not being ill is also a possibility. Deontic models do not admit departure from what is commanded. Must. Worlds evaluated are very similar to the ideal. Should allows for evaluation of worlds less similar to the ordering source. You must remember this, or you should remember this. A. She must practice a lot. It's an epistemic necessity. For every word close enough to the ordering source, she practices a lot. A root or deontic necessity. For every world such that in that world Payana pupils are required to practice, she practices a lot. Deontic models. Ordering source establish ideal world where salient obligation has been met, permission given, etc. Dynamic models. Empty ordering source. Another example. He can open the door. There are two meanings. Next. Dynamic modality disallow passivization expletives. John can read Arabic easily. And it's wrong to say Arabic can be read easily. By Robert in 1985. B. There can remain two students in the room, or there will remain two students in the room. This is wrong. But there remained two students in the room. This is okay. This is correct. C, the third example. The doctor can examine such patients, or the doctor is able to examine such patients, but such patients can be examined by this doctor. It's okay, but such patients are able to be examined by this doctor. This is with question marks. Deontic models impose no selectional restriction on SU. There can be a party as long as it's not too loud. There must be a solution to this problem on my desk tomorrow. In order for the crop not to fail, it must rain tomorrow. An opening hand must contain 13 points. Examples from Wurmbrand in 1999 and in Avram 2012. Deontic models allow passivization. A. You can speak Romanian at the conference. B. Romanian can be spoken at the conference. DP Romanian is an argument of lexical verb only. Deontic models temporal independence of the complement. Today we must finish tomorrow, but yesterday you said something else. Take scope over perfect. Example B. You must have finished by the time we get back. Epistemic models always take scope over perfect. He must have turned off his phone, or he may have turned off his phone. So it is certain that he turned off his phone for the must, or it is possible that he turned off his phone for the may. Don't you think you may be being just as silly about anything else you thought you saw? Channels on communication may be being watched. See, I'm sure I've already pointed out your chumpiness, but you wouldn't listen to that either. I thought I might have been being a bit rude, but you really are the most dunder-headed imbecile I've ever encountered. They probably couldn't find a taxi that would take him after being in that smelly old boat of floss. He must be having to walk. A. Another example. He must never have been dead. That's the only possibility. I mean, no one dies and comes back to life again, do they? A. In the alley, Sergeant Cullen started to suck the rim of his helmet out of terror. He was having to lean on the wall. B. Cities are having to teach people how to cross the road. Epistemic models scope higher than weakly quantified SU. Root models may scope lower. A. Some philosophers must go to those seminars. Epistemic. It is certain that at least some philosophers go. Model over SU. Root deontic. Some of the philosophers are required to go. SU over model. It is required that some of the philosophers go. Model over SU, according to Butler 2003. He must not have got my letter, or he might not have got my letter, is an epistemic model which is over SU, which is over negative. B. The example of the B. The children must not do that. SU is over deontic model over negation. So SU deontic model negation. The third example, C. The children can't do that. So neg, so deontic model.